Welcome back, everybody, to another wonderful episode of Elliott's Overtime Escape with your host, Elliott Maxwell. Elliott, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Seth. And yeah, it's just been a few weeks since our last episode It was a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. Been busy over here. You were busy a couple weekends ago with your own sporting event. How did that go?
Yeah, I went off to state, and the last time I saw you was on that Friday morning, the travel day for me to state, and yeah, I competed really well, and I got 2 silvers. I don't have them today, but I'll show them at some point.
On a future episode, we'll bring them in.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, that's super awesome. Glad to hear that went super well, even with the stiff competition that was there.
Yeah.
And then you also did a big emceeing event lately. That was huge.
Yeah, it's just this past weekend, 4 days.
Yeah, a few days ago now.
Yeah, it was really great. I enjoyed myself, and I crushed it as always. And
yeah, what was the event?
It was a center blue.
Nice.
And the theme was illuminate, everything, and I just, yeah, I was literally up there, literally hosting, being the person I am, and I love being in front of people and talking in front of people,
yeah.
and getting, stuff because especially because it was my 3rd year hosting.
Yeah, that's crazy. 3 years consecutively. What was one of your favorite lines that you got to deliver?
One of my favorite lines was saying, "Oh, I've got a podcast now, ask me about it after the show," and literally, the whole entire room was literally,
We cheered?
yes.
You're all excited? Oh, that's awesome.
And hopefully we get more people listen from all the people that came to A Singer Blue.
I think we will. It's gonna go viral. It's gonna blow up.
I hope our subscriber count goes up.
Up super high. All right, should we get into today's episode then? Show all our new viewers what's up?
Yes.
All right. Should we kick it off?
Kick off by finding out what our first topic is for today's episode 24 of the pod.
Woo! Spinning that wheel. All right, let's see. Oh, okay, up first, a segment we've never done. This one's called March Madness. It's going to be a quick fire March Madness predictions bracket. Elliott will do yours first. We'll go the South, then the West, then the East, then the Midwest, and then our Final Four, all that good stuff. All right. Up first, we have the number 1 seed Iowa State versus the 16 seed Milwaukee, with Iowa State at a 99% chance to win. Who do you have winning this one?
For March Madness?
Mm-hmm.
Going with Iowa.
Iowa, okay. All right. And then our second matchup, we have Clemson in 8th versus our number 9 seed Seton Hall, with Clemson being favored 58% over Seton Hall's 42%. Who do you have winning this one?
I'm going to go with the shocker, Seton Hall.
Seton Hall, a little bit of an upset. Upset early. All right. And then we have number 5, Louisville versus number 12, Yale. Louisville favored 83% to 17% for Yale.
Louisville.
Louisville, okay. Keep it rolling. We have Alabama, number 4 seed versus the 13 seed High Point. I feel like I have never even heard of a place called High Point.
Alabama.
Alabama moving through. All right. And then we have our next one, which is going to be Virginia versus Indiana. Virginia, the 66% chance to win that game over Indiana.
I'm going to go with an upset, Indiana.
Ooh, big upset. That's our biggest upset of the day so far. Up next, we have the 3 seed BYU going up against the 14 seed Hawaii. Who do you have winning this one?
BYU.
BYU, yeah, I think that's going to be a tough one to say no to. And then up next, we have the 7 seed Kentucky versus the 10 seed St. Louis. Who do you have winning that one?
Kentucky.
All right. Then our last matchup on this side of the bracket, the 2 seed Purdue versus the 15 seed Stephen F. Austin, which just sounds like a singular guy to me. But who knows? Purdue, easy. Okay, let's go through the second round on this section of the bracket. Up first, Iowa State, the 1 seed versus Seton Hall, the 9 seed. Who do you have winning this one?
Iowa.
Iowa moves on, the 1 seed, making it 3 deep. All right, Louisville versus Alabama. It's a 50-50. It's our hardest decision yet.
Alabama.
Alabama wins it, the 4 seed, getting just over the 5 seed. Up next, we have Indiana versus BYU, the 11th seed, going up against the 3 seed.
BYU.
BYU, the 3 seed, continues on. Up next, we have Kentucky versus Purdue, the 7 seed versus the 2 seed.
Purdue.
Purdue moves on. Okay, into our final 4 for this section of the bracket. Iowa State versus Alabama. 60-40 split for Iowa State.
Iowa.
Okay, the 1 seed's making a deep run. And then next we have BYU versus Purdue, the 3 seed versus the 2 seed.
Purdue.
Purdue. So we have the 1 seed against the 2 seed here in the final. Iowa State with a 51% chance, Purdue with a 49% chance.
Iowa.
Iowa moves on. All right, now for the West. Arizona versus LIU. Arizona's the 1 seed.
Arizona.
Yeah, they're currently favored 100% to win that. St. Mary's versus UCLA. The 8 versus the 9 seed. This is always a tough one.
Ooh. St. Mary's.
St. Mary's. Okay, the 8 seed takes it. Florida versus Akron. Akron, Ohio. It's a 93% chance Florida's going to win that one.
Florida.
All right. Then we have Nebraska, the 4 seed, going up against Liberty.
Nebraska.
Nebraska wins it again. All right. We have USC versus Tulsa. Tulsa at a 58% chance, even though they're the 11 seed.
Tulsa.
Tulsa winning it. An 11 seed moving on. That's big. All right. Number 3 seed Illinois.
Versus Northern Colorado.
See the Grizzlies in the mix. However, the Grizzlies only have a 3% chance of winning.
Illinois.
Illinois. All right, Utah State versus Baylor. This one's a close one. 59% Utah State, 41% Baylor.
Utah State.
Utah State moves on. Gonzaga, the 2 seed, versus Furman, the 15 seed.
Gonzaga.
All right. Then we have Arizona versus St. Mary's. Arizona with an 81% chance, St. Mary's with a 68% chance.
It's 19.
Oh, my bad. They had 68 votes.
Arizona.
All right. And then we have the 5 seed Florida versus the 4 seed Nebraska, with the 5 seed Florida actually given a 70% chance to win.
Florida.
All right. And then we have 11 seed Tulsa versus 3 seed Illinois. And this is where Tulsa's reign stops, and they're only at a 13% chance to win.
Illinois.
Illinois takes it. Up next, we have the 7 seed Utah State versus Gonzaga. You have Gonzaga winning?
Yes.
All right. For our final four of the West, we have Arizona versus Florida, with Arizona only given a bit of a chance to win that one, not a huge one.
Arizona.
Okay, no upset happening yet. Illinois versus Gonzaga.
Illinois.
All right. So in our semifinal for the West region is going to be Arizona versus Illinois. Who do you have winning this one?
Arizona.
Arizona is going all the way. So 2 1 seeds that you've picked so far. All right. Up next we have Connecticut versus Colgate. Connecticut with a 98% chance to win that.
Connecticut.
All right. We have Auburn versus St. Mary's University, SMU, at a 51% chance to win. So it's really close.
And they both have the same amount of votes.
Yeah. Go with your gut. Just go with whatever you like more.
Auburn.
Okay. Tennessee versus William and Mary.
Tennessee.
Yep. 94% chance to win. It's hard to imagine that'll swing. Kansas versus Illinois State. 87% chance for Kansas right now.
Kansas.
All right. Arkansas versus Ohio State. Arkansas at a 61% chance. Who do you have there?
Ohio State.
Big upset there. 39% odds to win. 100% for Elliott Maxwell. Michigan State versus Winnipeg. Michigan State is a 98%
Michigan State.
Michigan State moves on. St. John's at the 7th seed versus LSU in the 10th seed.
St. John's.
All right, and then we have Duke versus Vermont, with Duke having a 100% chance to win. Duke, all right. Up next, we have the 1 seed versus the 8 seed, Connecticut and Auburn. Connecticut wins it. Tennessee versus Kansas, the 5 and the 4 seed meet again. Who do you have winning this one?
I'm going Kansas over Tennessee.
Kansas wins over Tennessee. I could see that over the Volunteers. 11 seed Ohio versus 3 seed Michigan State. Ohio State at a shockingly high 34% chance to win that as the 11 seed.
Michigan State.
Okay. So currently you have the 1, 3, and the 4 seed. Will the 2 seed make it through to the quarterfinals? St. John's versus Duke.
Duke.
All right. So we once again have the 1, 2, 3, and 4 seeds going into the final 4 for the East. All right. First, Connecticut versus Kansas. Who do you have winning this one? 57% odds for Connecticut. All right. Next match, we have Michigan State versus Duke. Duke. Okay, the 1 and the 2 seed in the final for this division, fighting for that final 4 spot. Duke at a 76% chance. You have Duke making it through. All right, now for the Midwest, the last one we'll need. We have Michigan versus Howard. 100% chance for Michigan at the moment.
Michigan.
All right, then we have Georgia versus UCF. Who do you have winning that one? The 8 versus the 9 seed, but Georgia's favored 65%.
Georgia.
All right, we have Texas Tech versus Utah Valley.
Texas Tech.
All right, North Carolina versus Arkansas State. The rapid fire.
North Carolina.
All right, Iowa versus Oklahoma.
Iowa.
All right. Houston versus Lipscomb.
Houston.
Yeah, that's a 98%er. Villanova versus North Carolina State. Villanova's winning that one. All right, and then we have Vanderbilt versus St. Thomas.
Vanderbilt.
Okay, currently we have the 1 to the 8 seed. No upsets in that first round there. We have Michigan versus Georgia, the 8 seed. Who do you have winning that one?
Michigan.
All right. Now we have Texas Tech versus North Carolina. This one's a tough one. The 5 versus the 4 seed again.
Texas Tech.
All right. Iowa, the 6 seed versus Houston, the 3 seed. Who do you have winning that one?
Houston.
All right. And then we have Villanova going up against Vanderbilt, the 7 versus the 2 seed.
Vanderbilt.
All right. We have the 1, 3, 2 and the 5 right here. So we have the 5 sneaking through into our top 4. Michigan versus Texas Tech. 80% chance for Michigan on this one.
Michigan.
All right. Houston versus Vanderbilt. Who do you see winning this one?
Houston.
All right. We have the 1 seed versus the 3 seed. Michigan favored 66% over Houston. Michigan, another 1 seed. It's going to be a very competitive Final Four. Iowa State versus Arizona. Who do you have winning this one?
Arizona.
All right. And then we have Duke versus Michigan. Who do you have winning this one? Duke takes it. And then we have the 1 seed Arizona versus the 2 seed Duke. Duke favored by 58%. Who do you have winning it? Duke. Winning March Madness according to Elliott Maxwell. All right, let me get into mine. I'm going to go rapid fire with this. Iowa State with Milwaukee. I don't think an upset's happening. I'm going to go Seton Hall. I think the 9 seed is fun there. I think that Clemson has holes. I think Seton Hall will move on. I'm going to go another upset out the gates. I think Yale beats Louisville. And now I'm going to go a little more normal. I think Alabama takes it home. Virginia versus Indiana. I think Indiana has a shot here. Indiana moves on. BYU versus Hawaii. BYU takes it. Kentucky versus St. Louis. Going the underdog. I'm going St. Louis. And then we have Purdue versus Stephen F. Austin. Purdue, obviously. All right. Next matchup, Iowa State versus Seton Hall. Iowa State's going to win this one. I don't think Seton Hall quite has it in them. Yale, the 12 seed versus the 4 seed Alabama. I have Alabama moving in off that one. I'm going to take another underdog. I think Indiana beats BYU off the 40-60 odds. Makes it to the Final Four, I guess the Sweet 16 overall. St. Louis versus Purdue. I think Purdue wins it. Iowa State versus Alabama. I'm going to take Alabama here. I have faith in the 4 seed. Alabama's a great sports school. All right, the 11 seed versus the 2 seed. As much as I want Indiana to make it to that final, I think Purdue takes it. And finally,
it's a 4 seed versus a 2 seed.
A 4 seed versus a 2 seed. I think Alabama takes it. I have Alabama winning out the South. For the West, Arizona. Easy. LIU, no shot. St. Mary's versus UCLA. Taking UCLA there. Taking the 9. Florida versus Akron. I do have Florida. And then I do have Nebraska beating Liberty. USC versus Tulsa. I'm going to take Tulsa, the 11 seed, to win that. Illinois versus Northern Colorado. You know what? Cinderella story. Home state. I think Northern Colorado moves on. Utah State versus Baylor. I'm going to take the 10 seed. I'm taking Baylor on that one. And then we have Gonzaga versus Furman. I'm going to take Gonzaga there. Arizona wins again. UCLA has no shot against Arizona. Then we have Florida versus Nebraska. 5 seed versus 4 seed. I'm going to go, it says there's a 70% chance for Florida to win it. I'm going to go the 4 seed. I'm going to go Nebraska. Now we have a crazy matchup.
Tulsa and Northern
seed versus the 14 seed. And I want to go Cinderella story. Northern Colorado is going to make it at least to the Sweet 16. Then we have Baylor versus Gonzaga. I have Gonzaga winning that one out. Up next, Arizona beats Nebraska. I'm confident in it. Cinderella story. Northern Colorado makes it to the Elite 8 where they get beat by Arizona. Sorry. I have to rep U of A. My mom's a U of A alum. Have to believe in them. Sorry, Northern Colorado. Should have been in a different conference. All right. Connecticut versus Colgate. Connecticut wins. Easy. Auburn versus St. Mary's. I'm taking St. Mary's here. The 9 seed. They're only, not favored by a little bit. Tennessee Volunteers move on. Kansas versus Illinois State. Kansas moves on. Arkansas versus Ohio State. I'm taking Ohio State. I'm liking these 11 seeds today. Michigan State beats out Winnipeg. St. John's loses to LSU, the 10 seed. And Duke beats out Vermont. I don't think that's going any other way. All right, Connecticut versus SMU. Taking SMU here. The 1 seed goes out early in the East. Connecticut gone. Tennessee versus Kansas. I'm taking Kansas again. I think the 4 seed moves on in this. And then we have Ohio State versus Michigan. Taking Michigan here. I don't think the 11 seed makes it that deep in this one. And I think Duke prevails as well. From the bottom this time to make it different, Duke versus Michigan State. Duke has a 75% chance to win that. I have Duke there. Kansas versus St. Mary's. I'm going to go Kansas on that one.
Bringing us 4 versus 2.
4 versus the 2 here. I'm going to go Duke to make it to the Final Four. Lastly, the Midwest. Michigan beats Howard. I think that's no questions asked. I'm going to just do this right now. I'm going to get it out of the way. St. Thomas beats Vanderbilt, one of the biggest upsets in March Madness history. Goes down. The 15 seed moves on. Back to the top now. Georgia versus UCF. Taking Georgia. I think the Bulldogs have it. Texas Tech versus Utah Valley. Taking the upset. The 12 seed wins for the first time in the tournament. North Carolina beats Arkansas. Iowa beats Oklahoma. Houston beats Lipscomb. And Villanova prospers over North Carolina State. All right, bringing us on to our second round, we have the 1 seed Michigan versus the 8 seed Georgia. Taking Georgia. The Bulldogs are going to put up a good fight. And then we have Utah Valley versus North Carolina. I think this is where the run ends for Utah Valley. North Carolina wins it. Iowa versus Houston. I think that Iowa, in a shock move, comes away with it. And then I think Villanova handily beats out St. Thomas. Which leaves me with the 8, the 4, the 6, and the 7 seed. A little different. Georgia versus North Carolina. It's a 50-50 matchup. I'm gonna go seed. I think North Carolina wins it. Iowa versus Villanova, another close one. I'm going to go the 7 seed here. I think Villanova moves on. A classic good basketball.
And now it's another 50-50.
Another 50-50. I'm going to take the flyer. Villanova moves on. And my Final Four set. Alabama, the 4 seed versus Arizona. Only with a 78% chance to win. Surprising, because in your bracket, they only had 10 less percent against a 2 seed than they do against a 4 seed. Taking Arizona. They move on to the semifinals. Duke versus Villanova. Taking the upset. Villanova makes a deep, deep run. But I think they come up just short. U of A. Big up Tucson. Big up U of A. Arizona wins it all. That's my March Madness prediction. How do you feel? What do you think about my bracket?
Yeah, your brackets looks great.
I'm pretty crazy with some of the upsets.
Yes.
Wanted to keep everyone on their toes. All right. I think that was good. I think yours is more likely to come true. But I have hope, I have faith that mine will be true. And we both, as wild as my bracket was, we ended up having 2 of the same people in the Final Four, Arizona and Duke. I just had Alabama and Villanova instead of Michigan and Iowa State. All right. What should we do next, Elliott? Should we
get our spin the wheel for the next topic?
Woo! All right, let's see.
Is it going to be it's going to be 10-minute drill.
10-minute drill, and there's a lot of news going on. Start us off, Elliott. What's going on in Broncos news? What's going on in the Broncos world right now?
Yeah. Yeah, just this. The Denver Broncos have been quiet during free agency period. They've re-signed a lot of their in-house free agent players. They let go of PJ Locke to Dallas Cowboys. And then they re-signed Dobbins, Troutman, Nate Atkins was re-signed. and then there was like one other. There's
one other smaller signing. I want to highlight J.K. Dobbins and Troutman because I think you have two moves here. I think one is great and I think one is a little subpar. I'll start with the subpar one so we can finish on a high note. I think Troutman was paid too much. I don't remember how much exactly he re-signed for. Let me look it up.
It was $17 million.
Yeah, which he just hasn't been in any way a top tier tight end. I think they overpaid a little bit for Troutman. However, I think the J.K. Dobbins move was really, really important. Kenneth Walker went to the Chiefs.
A lot of free agent running backs were like
snatched up by the Saints. Yeah.
And then I think Dowdle went somewhere else.
Yeah, Dowdle went. Where did Dowdle go again? We have that somewhere else in our news cycle. We'll get there.
It was. I think like the Cardinals or so, or
it may be.
It was like yeah.
We'll find out. You'll be one of our wonderful highlights, one of our beautiful news headlines for today.
Yeah, but like Troutman was the most reliable player that they had in case of like injuries to other players.
That is true. He stayed injury free. He was relatively reliable.
And he was like a best blocking tight end for keeping Bo Nix like upright for most of the season.
Certainly good blocking tight end.
And like those throws that Bo Nix threw to Troutman was like crazy. He was good like at throwing the foot and like catching the football.
Yeah, I think,
but it was like better to like keep the team together, mostly together, and not just go out and get another tight end or get some, because a lot of the because would you rather re-sign a bunch of players that were going to be like restricted or unrestricted free agent than going out to like get another tight end from another team when there's like a list that the Broncos have that is like really like in-house free agents are.
Yeah, and I will say as well, I think one thing that makes the move better is the market for tight ends this year. There's not a lot of tight ends on the market, so Troutman would have been more, desired by some other teams. So I can kind of see why they ended up paying him what they ended up paying him. And they just got out of that Russell Wilson dead cap. So I think overall, the move's okay. I'd call it kind of a lateral, neutral move. And then I think re-signing
because it's better to like have the offensive line still be together for another 3 years or like, so like you're because Bo Nix is still on a rookie contract, so you have to just keep the team together and not just send Troutman for like out to pasture or out to another team when the Broncos just stay quiet and maybe they're waiting for the draft to like figure out
receivers,
figure out a future tight end like that could be like the Lucas Kroll replacement, because Lucas Kroll was probably was tender or was like a or something.
Interesting. Very interesting. All right, let's get into some of these other, headlines for the day. The first one I have here is that the Cardinals officially have released Kyler Murray, and the Vikings are currently considered to be the favorite to land him. And now this is my little bit as a Vikings fan. I think it's a good move. The Vikings lose literally nothing from it. They sign him for the vet minimum, which I believe is $1.6 million. And then Arizona pays him 30-some million. So I think you're getting a quarterback who has shown flashes of being really good, who I don't think is really that bad. I think, maybe it's a hot take, I think
Gardner Minshew was signed to Arizona as their quarterback.
Yeah, oh, is he going to be the guy there? Yikes.
Yeah, because he was the backup to Mahomes, and then Tua was released by the Dolphins too on Monday, like the 2 days before, or the day before the free agent started. Tua was released by the Dolphins. There's been a lot of
moves that we're going to get into right in here. But yeah, I think more so Kyler Murray was let down by Arizona than, he let down that team. And I think he can still be a good starting quarterback. And I think it'll be good to have some competition in that quarterback room for the Vikings. Another big one, Vikings running back Aaron Jones agreed to a revised contract to keep him in Minnesota that lowered his, contract from like $9 million a year to I think it was like $3.5 million a year. So he took a big, significant pay cut to stay on the team. I like seeing that. I think he's a great guy. I think they still need a little bit of help in that backfield between, Jones and Mason, but they're in a pretty solid spot. All right, what's our next one?
Patriots assigned NFL Meteor Kevin Byard to 1 year, $9 million contract.
Yeah, I feel like this is big. The Patriots poached Kevin Byard off of the Bears, and I think that'll be a good move. I think Drake May is one of the bigger winners of free agency so far. He's getting a strengthened defense, a strengthened O-line, strengthened receivers that we'll get into. But I think that's a good move, especially because they're getting him for so cheap. $9 million is real cheap for that guy.
And then Colts quarterback Daniel Jones finalizing 2-year, $88 million deal.
Yeah, I think that this is a bit of an overpay. He tore his Achilles. We've seen that can be really hard to recover from.
And especially come back from a ACL injury that's
Yeah, well, he had an Achilles injury. Yeah, Daniel Jones went down with an Achilles. It's really hard to recover from. We've seen it, not go so well for other quarterbacks. Luckily, he is a pocket passer, so it'll have a bit less effect. But guaranteed $60 million is a lot, especially because Alec Pierce just got re-signed with the Colts as the most expensive free agent wide receiver ever. I think the Colts are kind of overspending on those two guys, and we may have a Bengals type situation where there's a great connection between the quarterback and a wide receiver, but not a lot else.
Yeah, and then it's going to be interesting if they do great or do.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I really have no idea where to place the Colts right now. All right, Ravens to sign the defensive end Trey Hendrickson to a 4-year deal after the Max Crosby trade is called off. This one's huge. This one's pretty controversial. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I think the Ravens made a great move trying to reinforce their defense. But also, there might be other teams interested in Max Crosby.
There for sure is.
There's a lot of other teams that are going to be interested.
Yeah, and our next headline is kind of what happens next. I do think that Max Crosby's trade stock is lowered after the Ravens backed out on a deal, and the general.
And it was medical reasons.
That's what they say. However, the fact that they signed Trey Hendrickson only hours after Max Crosby Crosby's trade was called off, maybe, you know, call me a conspiracy theorist, but I think, you know, you don't get so quickly to a contract from a division rival. It takes time. So I think they were talking to Trey Hendrickson and, you know, trading for Max Crosby, and their plan was always, if Trey Hendrickson doesn't work out, we go with Crosby, which is just kind of bad business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not cool to the Raiders.
And not because Sean Payton was trying to get in the because there was like a comment from Sean Payton saying like we want him out of the AFC West, or it's like Max Crosby is like a boogeyman to our team.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting to see if they do end up trading him here in the next couple of days, because they weren't the only ones in that conversation.
It was like
there was a few
Commanders.
teams. Yeah, I don't remember exactly who, but there was a few names, and I think I could see him, you know, going somewhere else.
Cowboys. I think it was the Cowboys that were more interested in Max Crosby.
I think the Cowboys, were a little bit, but I think they got less. Like, they decided that Rashawn Gary from the Packers would be enough for them, and I don't remember. But it'll be interesting to see who he goes to, if anyone. I don't think it'll be for 2 first-round picks anymore, though. I think his stock has dropped a little.
Like, significantly?
Not significantly. I could still see him going for a first and second, or
but
a first and a second and a third, something like that. But I don't see 2 firsts anymore.
Yeah.
But I think he's still a great player. I think he's still top 5 at his position. All right, what's our next headline?
Patriots assigned for Packers wide receiver Romeo Doubs to 4-year contract.
Yeah, this is another reason that I see Drake May as a big winner from this free agency, is just that, you know, another solid wide receiver that he'll have. I think Romeo Doubs is pretty underrated. And I think, you know, that connection with Drake May is going to be good.
Yeah, and I hope New England doesn't make it back to the playoffs. They were literally got snuffed out by Sam Darnold and Seahawks.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I see him making it back to the playoffs.
I don't think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl again.
No, probably not to the Super Bowl, but I think they'll still be a playoff team. I think they're still a very good team.
Even though that they even if like we'll do it next time. We'll just think about like by the time of next season, we should do like a bracket predicting the Super Bowl, like the playoffs, like next season, like when we're in the middle of next season, like do like a pre-playoff prediction bracket.
Yeah, they'll be coming soon to an episode near you. All right. What's this next one?
Travis Kelce credits Taylor Swift for motivating Titans return for 14th season with Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm not very surprised. I kind of always figured that Travis Kelce would be coming back for one more season. I think that, you know, while this is a flashy headline, I don't think it's a huge impact move. He isn't like, you know, the tight end he used to be.
He's regressing.
Yeah, he's still really solid. He's still a good player, but
it's going to be father time, or maybe analyst job for Prime Video in the future too.
Exactly. Yeah. All right.
Steelers signed running back Rico Donnell to a 2-year, $25 million deal.
I think that's great value. I think that's a really good move. I think Dowdle is a very underrated back in the league, and they got him for pretty cheap, so I think that's good for the Steelers.
And then the Falcons assigned quarterback to Tagovailoa to 1-year minimum contract.
Yeah.
Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, there will be 2 lefties in that quarterback room now. I think this is another good move. They're getting him for like $1.6 million, and then Miami is paying him everything else. I think that's a great move for the Falcons because even if he's not like the guy there, you only spent $1.6 million on him versus a lot of these quarterbacks you get paid up to like $40 million a year.
Yeah, and I think there was another. I think Geno Smith was going to go to the Miami Dolphins. There was another.
There was rumors Geno Smith got traded back to the Jets where he started his career. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. I really have no idea. I don't know what to think of Geno Smith. He was like the worst in the league last year, and he's not going into, I'd say, a more favorable situation. So it'll be weird.
All right. I think he'll probably retire after
26.
After 26.
I think it's possible. I believe it.
Because like then the Jets could focus on drafting a quarterback.
Yeah.
For the future.
I agree.
And not just hand it to a guy that's been in and out of teams for
years now, yeah.
And going from Seattle to Raiders, then back to the Jets, and then
exactly, yeah. I think they need to figure out their quarterback situation there. All right. Up next, Mike Evans to sign to the 49ers, ending his 12-year tenure with the Buccaneers.
Yeah, it's really great to like see a player and go out with end their tenure with one team and then sign with another in a different division and in the same conference in a different like.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see. Let's go rapid fire through these next two headlines since we're getting close. All right, Raiders signed Tyler Linderbaum to an $81 million contract for 3 years. I think this is a great move. They had one of the worst O-lines in the league last year, and they're making it look like they could be pretty good. The Raiders, I said it last year, so I don't want to say it too soon, but the Raiders could be scary this year.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows if Max Crosby is out of Vegas?
Yeah, we'll see. I think if he's out of there, they're going to get 2 first-round picks or a first round and a second round for him. I could see him being pretty good. And then our last headline, Kenneth Walker, K9, Super Bowl MVP, signs with the Kansas City Chiefs. In a classic move, I think the Chiefs are going to be pretty good next year as well. If they get a good wide receiver in the draft, I think they are primed to be a Super Bowl contender again.
Yeah, but it could be Kansas City and Denver as the 1 and 2 in the AFC West.
Yeah, well, they couldn't be the one in the AFC West for sure. I think it'll be interesting to see.
Because the Chargers need to be like they are not as great because they won't be in the playoffs if they.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how the AFC West falls because I think it could, potentially go to any of those teams if Mendoza really ends up being the guy in Las Vegas. Yeah,
if Las Vegas gets a wide receiver, they could be.
They have a wide receiver. They got who they trade for? Jalen Naylor from the Vikings, who I think as a Vikings fan is a very underrated wide receiver. I think he's a good fit into that Raiders team.
Yeah.
All right.
And now it's time for Disney trivia. It's Disney trivia time.
Yep. Let's rapid fire through these. See how many we can get through.
In Toy Story, what is the name of the boy that owns the toys?
Andy. Boom.
What did Dash place on his teacher's chair as a joke in The Incredibles?
Is it a thumbtack?
Yes.
Yes. A classic trick.
What's the last chore Lady Tremaine gives Cinderella?
Is it to sweep the chimney?
No.
Dang it.
Give Lucifer a bath.
Oh, wow, yeah. I have no idea. All right.
In Raya the Last Dragon, which tribe does Raya belong to?
Oh, shit. I literally have no idea. Even a guess wouldn't do me any good there.
Yeah, it's hard. It's something that starts with an R.
The Rain Tribe?
You just don't even.
I have no idea. I'm.
I think when you're back with
Yeah,
your
I know.
girlfriend, you'll just have to watch real.
I know nothing about Raya and the Last Dragon. We'll have to move on from that one.
In Aladdin, the Sultan wanted Princess Jasmine to marry at what age?
Can I guess like 14?
It's 16.
16. Okay, that was kind of close.
What breaks the curse on Princess Aurora in Maleficent?
I have no idea. I did not see Maleficent either. Can I guess an apple?
No, it was a kiss. It was.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I can't.
Radiator Springs.
Yeah. What kind of animal is the title character in Robin Hood?
Animals in the title character of Robin Hood. Is it a fox?
Yes.
Boom. I'm at 4 now. I'm pretty happy with that.
What meal do Lady and Tramp share in Lady and Tramp?
Spaghetti and meatballs. I'm at 5. This might be my best performance ever.
Who performs the song Everybody Wants to Be a Cat? It's.
Can I guess it's a cat?
No.
Dang it.
It's the name of the. It's.
If it's the name of the singer, I have no idea.
Scatman Crothers.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I didn't do that.
What kind of animal is Judy Hopps in Zootopia?
Rabbit.
Who's Gaston's sidekick in Beauty and the Beast?
Is Gaston the Beast?
No, it was. He had a sidekick. There was Gaston, and then the sidekick.
Is it a dog?
No,
I
it was a
don't know.
human. LeFou.
LeFou, okay.
LeFou.
LeFou?
LeFou.
LeFou? Alright.
Which original song in Good Movies built off of car noises in traffic?
In a Goofy movie? Is it like a movie about Goofy, like the dog?
No, it's an original song in a Goofy movie.
Like it's in a silly movie?
No, it's in the Goofy movie. It's in the Goofy movie. It's an original song.
I have no idea. I don't know that one, unfortunately.
So it was literally, I found it online, but you'll have to.
I'll have to watch a Goofy movie.
Oliver and Company was initially pitched as a sequel to which other Disney film?
Can I guess Peter Pan?
No, it was The Rescuers.
Oh,
The original Rescuers.
Interesting.
On what holiday is Lady and Tramp given as a gift?
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I want to say Christmas because it's the classic holiday.
You just said that answer.
Oh, okay, just Christmas. Well, I was gonna say Valentine's Day, but I like myself the point for that.
Who is the leader of the Seven Dwarfs?
Can I guess Grumpy?
No, Doc.
Doc. Oh, yeah,
In Beauty and the Beast, how long does Lumiere say the curse has lasted during Be Our Guest?
Be our guest, be our guest. 250 years.
10 years.
Oh, dang it, I thought I was gonna be right for a second. I was like, there's no way, that's awesome. Alright, I'll take 7 out of, how many was that? Let me quickly count. 7 out of 17, so not as good of a ratio as I thought.
Yeah.
Alright.
Thank you all for, now it's time to close out today's episode 24 of Elliott's Overtime Escape. Thank you all for watching, listening, and hope you have a great day, and tune in next time for another episode.
Woo!